Okay, Jackie. Here's what we're going to do today, Jackie. We're going to solve equations. Yep, in one variable. And we're going to use inverse operations to do it. It's going to be a little bit step by step, more so than last time. And you guys might have questions. We'll get to those in a minute. So, Evelyn, Jackie looks sad. Are you sad, Jackie?
No.
No? Do you want to be? I could tell you sad stories. I teach high school. There's lots of sad stories.
Right.
Yeah. Right, Yolanda? There's always sad stories. There's kids that have bad
is.
problems.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
You gotta ask the right questions. You get a sad story.
That's true. So, check this out. The first question I have for you is, what does it mean to solve? What does it mean to solve? So you guys, most of you heard, I have a problem right now. Did you hear my problem, Gabby? No? On my way here right now, my car broke down.
Really?
That's a problem. Right? If I solve that problem, what's that mean? So if my problem is that the car is broken, if I solve that problem, what does it mean? Then it's not broken anymore, right? So like outside of math, solving means to make the problem go away, right? The problem or question. Or if you're a parent, child, go away. To solve a problem means you make your problem go away. It's gone. It's not there anymore, right? So in math, let's say we had something that said solve. Well, I don't know. What's your favorite equation, Jacobo? 3x minus 5 equals 10. Oh, that's a good one, Jacobo. That's good, yeah. Yeah, so if it said this, what it's really asking us is this asking, like, this is asking us, what number does x have to be? For this equation to be true. That's what it's asking us. Yolanda, I think it's a good idea to know what it is we're doing before we worry about how. Because then sometimes if we understand like our purpose, then sometimes the methods can kind of be more clear. So that's why I wanted to share that with you guys. All right. How can you tell when you're done, Jackie? So I'm done solving when are you done solving? Any idea?
You could check your work by plugging in.
Well, that's interesting you said that. That's actually how you know when you're right, which is going to be my next question. See, you're always a step ahead, Jackie. Yeah. Marlene, how do you know when you're done solving? In math? You're right. When the x is by itself. So, first thing, I'm done solving when x is by itself. And second, everything else is reduced or simplified. Yes, Gabby? No, Gabby?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, Gabby. What's that thing, Jacobo? Is that an eraser?
Let's see. This thing?
Yeah, what is that?
Nah, it's a fidget cube.
A fidget cube.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you throw it at people when they're annoying?
No.
Oh.
It's like to focus, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Something to fidget with.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not to throw at people.
No.
Oh. I always focus better when I throw stuff at people.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Not you, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackie. So Jackie, do you understand when you're done solving?
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be funny. Jackie, how do you know when you're right?
Well, you put in your answer. And
I know I'm right.
or you put in your
I-
answer to the equation.
I almost wrote right, W-R-I-T-E.
Like right.
Yeah. I know I'm right when
You plug in.
I plug in my answer and it works. Marlene, when I get distracted, and I think this is how most people work, one of two things happens. So let's say I'm distracted by something, but I have another thing I have to do. So one of two things happens. Either the thing I have to do is just a total disaster because I can't focus, or it's like super awesome because I'm angry and super focused. Does that happen with you? Which way? Sometimes both ways? Sometimes one way, sometimes the other? Yeah, same here. Story of my life. Hello, Oscar. What do you got there?
A what?
What do you have there?
My notebook?
Mm-mm. That thing. What is it? What's in it?
It's coffee.
Yeah, what kind?
Chai.
A chai. Oh, yeah. Oh, good. Okay. I'm a Matisha. You just have to forgive me. I'm super nosy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, here's what we got, right, Marlene? When it says to solve, basically what we got to do is we got to get that x by itself, right? And you know you're done if it says x equals something, and it's just a number and it's reduced. That's when you're done. But you're right if you can check it. And Evelyn, the way you check it is you take your answer and you plug it in, and if it works, and what I mean works is like you do the math and it is equal to this number, then you're good to go. That means you're right. All good so far, Jacobo?
Yeah.
Fantastic, Jacobo. All right. Ready, Gabby? Oh, Gabby, let's do this one. Let's do this one right here. Let's solve Jacobo's equation. Ooh, doggy. Now, do you remember, like I think it was last Tuesday, you would be given something like 3x minus 5, and it would say evaluate when x equals 6 or something? Do you remember that? And you just plug it in? So you would do 3 and then 6 minus 5, and then you just have to multiply and then add. Do you remember that? Yeah. To do that, you had to use the order of operations, right? And that's called, this kind of work right here, this is called evaluating. And it just means like find out what it equals when x equals some number. That's just evaluating. And when you're evaluating, you use PEMDAS, right? So this is groups, and this is exponents, and your favorite square roots. I know Yolanda's favorite square root is the square root of 36.
Yes. Always and forever.
That's right. And then multiply and divide from left to right, and then add and subtract from left to right. So when you're evaluating, that's what you do. But when you're solving, you do it backwards. When you're solving, you do it completely backwards. In fact, when it says using inverse operations, instead of PEMDAS, it's SADMAP. See, SADMAP. We're going to add and subtract first. We're going to multiply and divide next. Then we would do exponents and square roots, and then we would do anything in a group last. Yeah? Yeah, Marlene?
Yeah.
You sure, Marlene?
Yeah.
So then really the trick is we have to identify what operations are here. That's really what we got to do. And so check this out. So here's what I'm trying to get us to see. Man, I want to make sure you understand what I'm doing, like why I'm doing, not just what I'm doing. Okay, but here's what I want to do. I want to help you so you can see what operations, what of these are occurring in this equation, because we just have to do them backwards. Okay, so here's what I got. I got 3, and it's being multiplied, right? And then I've got a 5 that's being subtracted. Well, when you're solving, you're doing PEMDAS backwards. So we have to do this first, and then we do this second, like that. That's it. So let's do it. Oh man. Now, Yolanda, I really don't like how we do this math right here. Because what we do, this is the way it's taught everywhere, this is the way I was taught, and this is the way I do it, and it's super confusing. Because, well, here's what it is first. This is what everybody does. This is how it's shown, right? You seen that before or no? Right. Here's why this is really confusing. The thing written in pencil, the equation, it's written horizontally, and we're doing math horizontally. With algebra, we usually go across horizontally, but now all of a sudden we're doing something vertically, and that's kind of confusing. See, if we were going to do it so it made more sense, here's what we would do. What I'm really doing is I'm adding 5 to both sides, like that, and then I'm just combining like terms. Hey Evelyn, what's -5 plus 5?
Plus 5?
Yeah, -5 plus 5. Evelyn, how do you say big zero in Spanish? No, you don't? Jacobo does, but he's not going to say it. Yeah, look,
Say it.
5 minus 5 is 0. That's just 0 right here. That thing right there is 0. So you really have 3x plus 0 equals 15. Now we don't have to write the 0, right? You don't have to write plus 0. It's always there. And that's what this is right here, except we're doing it in a column. So 3x equals 15. Yeah. Hey Jackie, 3 times what is 15? 3 times what is 15? 3 times 5? Right. Do you see how this is multiplying 3 times x? So what we're really going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And we don't have to write 1x. We could though. We could write 1 times x if you wanted equals 5. Or you could just do x equals 5. Same thing over here. Yeah. So I'm done because I have x by itself and it equals something. It's reduced. It's simplified. So I'm finished. Now Eileen, let's say you're taking your next quiz and you want to get a good grade. Right, Eileen? Eileen, you want to check your answer. So what we're going to do to check it, all you got to do is take your original equation, and instead of an x, you just write parentheses, and then you can put your answer there. And then you just do the math, see if that's true. So this would be 3 times 5 is 15, minus 5. That's true. That's 10. Ooh, ah. Hi, Daniela. How are you? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Good. Okay. Oscar, any questions? That's pretty straightforward, right? Like you knew how to do that, I think. What about when it gets trickier? Should we do a tricky one?
Why not?
Why not? Sky's the limit, right? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I have something first before we do this. So, Jacobo, let's say that you and I have the same amount of money. Okay? So, Jacobo and I, we have the same amount of money. I guess that means you're broke if you have as much money as I have. But maybe I have as much money as you have. Either way, let's say that, let's say Evelyn feels sad that we don't have more money. And she's a very generous person. So, she's going to give you $10, right? So, me and Jacobo, we have the same amount of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if she gives you $10, we're not equal anymore. So you got to give me $10 too. Okay. Yeah. Where'd the 10 come from?
And the other?
Well, where'd either 10 come from? Let me ask you this. Watch. Here's what I'm getting at. 3x minus 5 equals 10. That was our equation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do something. I want you to tell me if it's still going to be equal. Are you ready? Is it still equal? Where'd the 2 come from? Where'd the 2 come from? You don't know? Me either. I just made it up. Huh. Is it still equal though? If Jacobo and I had the same amount of money, like let's say this is how much money I have and this is how much money Jacobo has, right? And Evelyn wants to double our money. She has to multiply his amount by 2 and my amount by 2. Do we still have the same amount? What do you think, Eileen? Eileen, you look super excited. Marlene, you're going to have to motivate that young lady because she's got a bad attitude. You know what? It's not even a bad attitude like, oh, you better straighten up your attitude, young lady. She doesn't believe in herself. That's the worst attitude. She doesn't believe that if she tries, it's going to work. And I know that from talking to her in just 2 or 3 sentences over the last couple weeks. And now she's confused, so you know what she's doing? She's looking at the ceiling. Am I right, Eileen? Eileen, if you don't believe in yourself, you will fail. And that's the only reason why. You have to be willing to take the risk. You can't just go through the motions. You got to be willing to try it. You'll get it, I promise.
I do get it, but I'm too tired to.
Oh, me too. Me too. Okay. Eileen, where'd the 2 come from?
Is it because she gave you like each of the $10 and it's 2 people? I don't know.
I just made up the 2. Okay, watch this. Ready? Oh boy. You ready, Jacobo?
Yeah.
Okay. Jacobo, however much money we have, we had to cut it up into 4 pieces because we had to give your sister some, and her some, and him some, and her some. We had to cut it up into 4 equal pieces. Do we still have the same amount?
Yeah.
Because you see, everything I've done to one side of the equal sign, I've done the same thing to the other side, so it's all still good to go. And that's the moral of the story. And that's, if you make mistakes in algebra, that's what it is. Big mistake. Biggest mistake. It's not that person you used to date. It's something different. All right, Jackie. Jackie, the biggest mistake. You have to make sure what you do to one side, how you change it. What's that beeping? Do you guys hear that? It's like a phone that's off the hook or something. You hear it every once in a while? It's like beep, 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 beep. No? Oh, man. Maybe I got new voices in my head. Oh, no. They don't get mad at me as long as I do what they say, Oscar. The voices in my head, they don't yell at me as long as I just comply. Yeah. All right. Okay, Evelyn. We're going to try a tricky one, but before we do, I want you to try this one. You ready? Ooh, don't let me trick you. Don't let me trick you, Jacobo. Don't let me trick you, Jacobo. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a minus?
Dang. So right here, the timer says 1908, so let's try 2008, because it shouldn't take more than a minute. If it takes more than a minute, you're probably going to mess it up. Where's Beartooth today? No, man, makes me sad. No Beartooth. Did you get it, Eileen? I know, Evelyn, right?
What?
We're not giving up on her, though, are we? Oh, no.
No.
She's worth the effort, isn't she? Yeah. Did you get it, Marlene? Maybe? Marlene, what are your dogs' names? Blue and Luna. Okay. You want to know what my pug's name is?
What is it?
Chuggies.
Chuggies?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Like chug, chug, chug.
Oh, really?
Because that's how he eats.
He tries this food.
It doesn't even have to be food. Anything he thinks might be food. Oh yeah, he's kind of neurotic. He's special. Mhm. You ready? Did you get it?
Yeah.
What'd you get? What did your sister get?
15.
Positive or negative? Positive. Do you guys agree it's 15? Is that what you got, Yolanda? No? No? Did you get that, Jackie? What'd you get, Yolanda?
I got -10 or 10. Yeah,
Oh, now I'm getting less confident because you have two answers.
I know.
Right. Okay. Evelyn, what'd you get?
I didn't really finish solving it,
Uh-oh. Okay.
but I have something.
Oh, Yolanda, at least your answer's a number.
Yes.
Right. Not a color. Right. That. Gabby, what'd you get? Negative. So you got -10. So we have a vote for -10. We have 2 votes for -10, a vote for this, and a vote for that. What'd you get, Oscar?
15.
So 2 for that. Oh, Jackie, what'd you get?
You divide them.
Positive.
+10. Oh boy. Marlene?
You divide.
-15. Okay. And Eileen, what'd you get? Okay. How can we tell who's right? Check it. Plug it in.
Yeah, there's
That's a lot of answers to plug in, huh? 4 of them? That's the answer. So here's what I'd suggest. If you messed up, don't erase it. Don't erase it. Because you don't want your notes to be perfect because you want to be reminded of mistakes you make so you can fix them. So here's what I'd suggest. If you make a mistake, it'd be really awesome if you had like a pen or something, different color, you could write like what you did wrong. I bet you guys messed up this part. Hey Daniela, is this 5? What's this 5 doing to the -2x? So here, I'm going to write it out in words because this is where you're going to get in trouble. The 5 is, what's the math operation that the 5's doing to the x?
subtract.
It's adding.
Wait, second.
It's adding. Do you know why I know that? There's no number and there's no sign in the front. That means it's positive.
Oh, okay.
That's a +5. The negative goes with the 2. The 2 is negative. The 2 is negative and multiplying. You see? 2 is negative and it's multiplying. So those are our 2 operations. We have addition and multiplication. We have to do the opposites of those. So the opposite of adding is to subtract. So I'm going to do it like this. Do you see how I'm doing it like that, Jackie? I like it this way better because we go across in math anyway, in algebra, so I'm going across. So all I got to do is -5 plus 5, and that's 0. Oscar, you know how to say big 0 in Spanish? No? Oh, okay. So I got -2x. Marlene does, huh? Okay, Marlene. And that equals -30. Because -25 minus 5 is -30. Evelyn, we doing good?
Yeah,
Are we rock solid?
rock solid.
Are we Gucci?
Sure.
Sure. Oh, man. I get in trouble over that word sure. At home, my wife gets mad at me when I say sure. I mean, okay, but I'll let it slide. All right. Now I have to do the opposite of multiplying by -2. I'm going to divide. So the opposite of this is going to be division by -2. And the way we do that is we actually do it as a fraction, like that. Negative divided by a negative is positive. So this is +1. -30 divided by -2 is +15. So Daniela, I agree with you, is 15. but we should check it to make sure. So to check it, let's plug it in. So 5 minus 2 times 15. Let's see if that in fact equals negative 25. So let's see here. Order of operations says that's negative 30. The 5 is positive. That does equal negative 25. Okay. How you doing, Jackie? Jackie, you need a new notebook.
No, I don't.
Why?
Because I do that to every notebook I have.
What do you mean?
That?
No.
Oh.
No, you're at the end of it, silly.
Oh, I know.
You have 1, 2, 3. You have like 6 pages left.
I know.
Okay.
I thought you were saying to write do that.
Okay. Never argue with crazy people, Jackie. An innocent bystander can't tell who's crazy and who's sane. So, there's always that. All right. Jacobo, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try x minus 3 over 5 equals 1. I'll help you out. I'll help you out on this one. So Daniela, the trick here is identifying the operations. This is just a 2-step question like the last one. There's just 2 things to do. It's just 2 things. Eileen, the trick is seeing like the math. So you see how for this problem you have a 3 and we have a 5. The 3 is negative. Right. The 3, what's the 3 doing to the x? Jackie, what's the 3 doing to the x? Please tell me. I'm just scared.
The 3 doing that.
Yeah. What's the 3 doing to the x? You're right. It's subtracting. It's minus 3, right? Okay, Jackie, chance for redemption. You're making me nervous. What's the 5 doing to the x, Jackie? It's dividing. Yeah, you see how it's in the denominator? That means division. Do you see, if you can't identify these things, then you can't do it. Like you won't be able to do inverse operations if you can't see what the operations themselves are. Yeah. So Yolanda, like normally we just see this, we don't write it down, we just like recognize it. So you look at it and you say, okay, what do I have to do first? But here's the weird thing about this problem. Gabby, this is what's not very nice. That's in a group. There's no parentheses, but it's still in a group. Because the whole thing is being divided by 5. And so, here's why I mentioned that. When we're solving, we do things backwards. Groups go last. So in this case, we actually have to get rid of the 5 first, and then the 3. Have to. How do we get rid of that 5, Marlene? I'll give you every dollar in my wallet if you can tell me correctly. Marlene, I had $3 in my wallet when I was coming to work tonight, and then since my car ran out of water and overheated, I had to use my water for drinking to fill up the radiator. And so I went to the Circle K and got me some new water, and now I got $0 in my pocket. Thug life. All right, Marlene. Do you know what to do to get rid of the 5? Let me ask you a different question. Do you know what a cow's favorite kind of math is? To multiply. We're going to multiply. Because look, if I have, let's say I have 1 over 5, right? X minus 3 is just a number. We don't know what it is. So it's like very much like this. If I multiply that by 5, don't these 5s reduce? Don't those reduce and make 1? Fractions are your friend, Jackie. I'm glad you brought that deodorant. I was going to say something, but
The what?
What is that?
It's where I put the pens.
Oh, that's cool. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was deodorant. You need some. Sorry, Jackie. Jacobo told me to tell you that. Now, if we multiply the left by 5, we also have to multiply the... Oh my God. We have to multiply the right by 5. Both sides the same, right? And the reason we're doing this is because 5 divided by 5 is 1. So that's really 1 times x minus 3. I'm not very good at math, but I think 1 times something is just itself. And when you multiply by 1, it doesn't change. So 5 into 5 is 1. 1 times x minus 3 is x minus 3. Well, that sounds like an exciting movie they're watching over there, doesn't it? Can you hear that, Jacobo?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, this says a number minus 3 is 5. A number minus 3 is 5. I think it's 8, right? Is 8 minus 3 5?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it is 8. But let's go ahead and use our inverse operations anyway. The opposite of minus 3 is plus 3. Dang, Jackie. Oscar, how was this one for you? Same or a little trickier?
A little bit tricky, but not bad.
We got it though? Yeah. Okay, good. So far, square roots and fractions are not the things you're liking.
Square root.
That's it, square roots. Oh my gosh. Huh. What if it was a square root of a fraction? Because I'm going to dress up like that for Halloween one of these years. It's going to be terrifying. Gabby, can you imagine if you saw a fraction being inside of a square root walking around the street? Gosh, these terrorists, that's what they should do. Okay. Let's do 3 problems. Easy, medium, difficult. Ready? Ready, Daniela? You sure, Daniela? Or are you not sure, Daniela? Okay, Daniela. Daniela, did you bring me any cookies? Jacobo said you were going to be a little late because you're going to bring the class cookies. He said that, right, Jackie? That she was going to bring cookies for the whole class? And that's why she was late. You heard that too, right, Yolanda? Yeah. Really? Daniela, where are the cookies, Daniela? Huh? The store? Huh. Okay. Sorry. I forgot what number I wrote. I want to make the answers just integers. Don't freak out, Yolanda, if you're doing homework or a quiz and you get an answer that's a fraction. That's actually more often than not. We're just not doing it yet. See this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. We could hit something.
Yeah. I heard.
Okay, let's see here. So when you're done, you should check with people. See if you can find help if you're confused. Well, if you didn't bring cookies for everybody, what are you eating then, Daniela? Huh? that's not very good. We want cookies.
Mister, so this is what we did last time, right? With what we got stuck on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when it has a parentheses and a square root. That's
Yeah.
a parentheses, so what do you do then on those? Because those are the ones I got stuck on too.
We're gonna do those in just a minute. Yeah. Did you get all three?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write what I think you're having trouble with on the board. You tell me if this is what you mean.
Okay.
Do you mean that you're having trouble with something like square root of x minus 4 equals 1? Or
Let me see.
x squared minus 1 equals 8?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah? Or 2x minus 1 squared equals, let's say, 16?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those? Okay, we'll do those right now.
Okay.
You got all three, Yolanda?
Sorry?
You have all three?
I believe so.
You believe so? Does Jackie have all three? Not yet. Daniela, do you have all three? What kind of granola bar, Daniela? Does it have any palm seed oil in it? Are you sure? Look at the ingredients. Palm seed oil. Yeah. Gabby, are you done with all three? Yeah? You have all three? Okay. How many of you guys got the first one right? 12. Yeah? Multiply both sides by 3 and it just reduces, right? Okay. The next one, x equals 4. Is that good? Yeah? Marlene, go. Yeah. Eileen. No, Oscar? Yeah? Yolanda? No? Should we go over it?
Yes.
Okay. So check it out. To get x by itself, because we're done when x is by itself, I have to get rid of two things. I have to get rid of the 2 and the negative 1. Right? So I have to do that one first. And the way I get rid of that, I want that to be 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 to both sides. That makes 0. So I'm left with 2x equals 8. And then I'm going to divide by 2. X equals 4. I know what the beeping sound is. It's a fax machine.
Oh, it's the fax?
Do you hear it? Like every once in a while, it's like ringing, but it's not going through. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you sure? Okay. Marlene, did you get the first 2 right? Yeah. For the last one, did you get 9?
Yes.
Yes. Yolanda, did you get 9 for the last one?
No.
No? Did you subtract 2 first?
No.
Did you add 2 first?
No.
Did you divide by 3 first?
Yes.
Ah. Yeah. Do you know why you're supposed to subtract 2 first?
Because that is the order of operation.
That's right. You have to do it backwards.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'll get it.
Yep, you'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, actually, oh my gosh, this is going to be ugly. What are you doing, Marlene? Marlene, stop that. Put that away, Marlene. You ordering food or something?
Sorry, it was my mom.
Your mom?
My little sister, yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with your little sister? Oh, okay, Marlene. Check it out, Marlene. Yolanda said that she messed up the order of operations. And I want to show you that if you do, you can mess them up and still get it right. If you do both things, if you do the same thing to both sides. So, I'm going to do it wrong and get it right. So, Yolanda, you said you divided both sides by 3, right? Well, the thing is, like right here, there's 2 things. So if we divide both sides by 3, we have to divide everything on both sides by 3. Yeah. So this equals 1 plus 2/3 equals 29/3. And then you could subtract 2/3. 29 over 3 minus 2 over 3, and that gives you 27 over 3, which is equal to, when you're done reducing, 9. But you don't want to do that. You'd rather do this. Right, Jacobo? You would rather do this. Minus 2, minus 2. Sometimes when you draw the line, you make the whoosh sound. It just helps you. So 27 divided by 3 is 9. Yeah? Okay, cool. Good to go. All right, Evelyn. You ready?
Yep.
Evelyn, when are you going to get a math tattoo?
When?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I go to the tattoo shop.
Oh, wow. When's that going to be?
Probably next week.
Oh, you're going to get a math tattoo next week?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's sweet. Oscar's going to be all jelly.
Too bad for him.
Yep, too bad. So sad. He can get his own math tattoos if he wants.
What were we supposed to get? I forgot.
Reduce, well, there's a bunch.
Oh, there's a bunch.
Yeah, reduce before multiplying, RBM.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's a good one to get. Reduce before multiplying, because that'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. Yeah. So Jacobo was saying that he gets into trouble when he sees problems like this. Or like, I'm going to write them all at once, because they all have the same issue. Or that. He says he gets into trouble when he sees things like any of those 3. And yeah, I got you. I understand. Yeah, Marlene, you ready? Marlene, I think we can figure out the first one if we just think about it. Check this out. This is the square root of something equals 1. The square root of something equals... Wait, the square root of what equals 1? Square root of 0 would be 0, because what times itself is the... So this is saying what times itself equals 1?
2.
2? I think it's 1. Because 1 times 1 is 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this has to be 1. Because look, the square root of 1... I think the square root of 1 equals 1. Well, because this is saying what number times itself equals 1, and we're saying that 1 times itself equals 1. So I think this equals 1. So what number does x have to be so that this thing is 1? Wait. So let's slow down. That math is like dating. You don't want to rush. You make silly mistakes. So, Oscar, I think this number inside, I'll highlight it for us. I think this number inside right here has to be equal to 1. Because the square root of 1 equals 1.
X equals 5.
So you think it's 5. How'd you get 5? Were you bitten by a radioactive math spider or something? You already have a math tattoo, don't you? Oh, you're busted. He said x equals 5. Because 5 minus 4 is 1, right? He's right, x has to be 5. But let's say you couldn't figure it out. Let's say you couldn't think about it and figure it out. Man, you know how when we're solving, we're using inverse operations? SADMAP, right? And we do everything backwards. What's the opposite of square root? Square root's opposite is... Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to use my phone for good, maybe. My phone's all jacked up. And it's not responding. I was going to ask Google. What's the opposite operation of square root? So here, what is the opposite of square root? What is the opposite of square root?
Exponent?
Oh, to square it. Exponent of 2. See, it says right here, the square. Squaring is the opposite. The square of a number. Subtraction is the opposite of addition. Division is the inverse of multiplication. So on, squaring is an inverse 2 minus the square root. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like the way they wrote it doesn't make sense. But they're saying that if you square, that's the opposite of square root. So the opposite of square root is to square. But the thing is, how do you write it, right? And how do you square it? So here's how you do it. We're going to square both sides. Now, Yolanda, you might be like, oh my God, that looks like Greek. I'm going to get a tattoo of that. That looks cool. But, Gabby, here's the thing. The square is the opposite of square root. They kind of they undo each other, basically. They're inverse. Just like plus 5 and minus 5 are opposites, square root and square are opposites. So you're left with x minus 4 equals 1 times 1 is 1. Yes, Jackie? Jackie, why'd you close your notes? Got to add 4 to both sides. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. 4 plus 1 is 5. Just like you said. We doing good? You guys seem really pumped up today. Yolanda's really pumped up. Tired? Yeah. Me too. Do you think it's going to snow tomorrow?
No,
Yeah.
that sounds like.
No. What if we sacrificed a chicken? Maybe?
It won't stick. Maybe it'll snow, but it won't stick.
I know.
We won't have a snow day.
I would love a snow day.
Yeah.
Would you love a snow day?
Yes.
Yeah. Snow day would be awesome. Oscar's like, I don't get snow days. Right? Oh, that's cool. Gabby, let's talk about this one. Because for all three of these, the issue is this. This is why they're all similar. The issue is all of the operations land with this exponent thing. So square root, the opposite of square root is exponent, and that's why that's similar to these two. But look, this 2 is an exponent. This 1 is adding. So or subtracting. So I have to do the opposite of minus 1 before I can take care of the exponent of 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 to both sides first. X squared equals 9. Hey, what squared is 9? Okay, good. There's actually 2 answers. There's another number times itself that equals 9. What else times itself is 9, do you know? What's negative 3 times negative 3? 2 answers. Now, Yolanda, the actual step you use, like this one is easy because 9 is a perfect square. But if this was like 10, we couldn't write an answer like this. So what we would do is the inverse of square is square root. We would take the square root of both sides. And the square root of 9 is 3. So let me show you another example of what I mean. Let's say we had something like this. X squared is 14, and we needed to solve for x. So Gabby. Gabby, where'd you put my notes? Oh, here they are. Gabby, we're done when x is by itself. That includes exponents. You gotta get rid of them. we have an exponent of 2 right here, and we have to get rid of it. Oh, sorry. We have an exponent of 2 right here. We have to get rid of it. The opposite of square is square root. So your answer is just the square root of 14. What do you think, Marlene? Do you know what the square root of 14 is? Me neither. What's the question, Daniela?
So when it doesn't have any, you just leave it like that?
Can't simplify it. There's nothing, there's not a perfect square. There's no factors of 14 that are perfect squares, so we're done. But if it was this, then we could do something. Sorry. I'm a jerk. I'm sorry. What are you going to do? Yes, Marlene. I made up a new problem. Like, let's say we had x squared equals 14 and we had to solve that. Because like x squared equals 9 is a little easier because 9 is a perfect square, but 14 not. Yeah. Okay? All right, now. Do you see this one's squared? But the whole group is squared. It's different than this one. In this one, just the x was squared, but not the whole thing. Do you see what I mean, Jackie? Because this is in a group. So that 2x minus 1, that times 2 and that minus 1, it's in a group. It goes last. So for this problem, here, I'll write it over here again. Ready? Ready, Gabby? SADMAP. You know what SADMAP stands for? Sometimes angry, dumb monkeys eat poop. That's what it means. Or subtraction and addition, left to right. Division and multiplication, left to right. Exponents and square roots and anything in a group goes last. The parentheses make the group of 2x minus 1. So the 2 and the 1 have to go after we get rid of the exponent. Because when we're solving, we got to go this way. Subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, exponent, and then in a group. So the group goes last. So exponent first, and the opposite of square is square root. So opposite of square. Yolanda, did you know that the opposite of square is square root before?
No.
Okay. So that's probably a good thing that I wrote that down. Sometimes even though you say it and you hear it, it's like doesn't like stand out as like, oh, big deal. Sometimes I wish my wife would write stuff down. Like when she says, I want you to choose where we're going to dinner, and I could go here or here, I'm happy with all of them. That's never the case. There's always one that she already's picked out. And she gave me a clue earlier, but I didn't realize it was a clue. See, that's how you women work. You give us clues, and they say, oh, well, you choose. I just want you to pick. Right, Jackie. Okay, Jackie, so the opposite of square is square root. That's why we did this right here. You see? I should have done it in a different color. Now, the square root and the square, they cancel each other because this is asking what squared is 2x minus 1 squared. So it's just 2x minus 1. What squared is 2x minus 1 squared? And what squared is 16? 4. Now there's really two answers, but we're just going to roll with the positive one for right now. Okay, we're just going to go with the positive 4. There really are two, and we'll get to that. Ooh, I don't know if we'll get to that in this class or not. We're supposed to. We're supposed to. I'd like to, but I'd rather make sure we really have a handle on this instead of rushing through to get to that, because you can learn that a lot in the next class. Okay, from here, this is just like before. Yolanda, you're going to subtract for add first, right? And then divide. Add first, then divide. Right, Eileen? Add first, then divide. Eileen, where'd the 5 come from? Right. Oh, fractions. Is it reduced? Does 2 go into 5? 2 doesn't go into 5, so it's reduced. You're right. Now, Jacobo, you could write 2.5 if you wanted.
Oh,
But you don't need to. You could just leave it like that. Yeah, you could leave it just like that. An improper fraction is just fine and dandy. We good? Yeah? Okay. last thing for right now. Oh crap. So Yolanda, I'm looking at this problem and I just got this problem out of the book. I just randomly picked one. This one's kind of weird because students that just like to do stuff without thinking, sometimes they make themselves have a lot more work with this. See, the 10 is multiplying, right? And we could distribute. Like, you guys know how to distribute that. You could. And then you could solve it from there, and you would get the right answer. But you would be dealing with a 30 and a 20. But look at this. If this number will divide into that one, you could divide both sides by 10 also. See, this is all multiplication right here. This group is being multiplied by 10. So here, there's two ways. And you could do it either way. So we could do the easy way and divide both sides by 10. Like that. So I divide this side by 10, those reduce, and I'm left with 3x plus 2 equals 7. Or I could distribute. 30x más 20 is 70. And you're going to get the same answer. But what you're going to find out, Evelyn, is on your answer on this one, you're going to have to do some reducing. And on this one, it's going to be reduced. So let's do that. Let's do this one right here. Let's go ahead and subtract 2. And then let's go ahead and divide by 3. So x is equal to 5 over 3. Whereas this one over here, if we subtract 20, 50, divide by 30, that's not reduced. And if it's not reduced, it's not right. Got to reduce it. Got to reduce it. Now, Oscar, if you did all this work and you got this answer, let's say this problem is worth 3 points, you're going to lose 1 point out of this. So it's not the end of the world, but 2 out of 3 is only 66%. And it would be sad because you actually know how to do the whole thing. But you got to reduce. You have a question, Yolanda?
Well, I thought you said, oh, never mind, I get it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Yolanda, if this 10 didn't go into this number here, we wouldn't want to try this because we'd have a fraction. We'd want to do this way. Here, let me show you what I mean. So let's say we had this instead. Like that. If we divided by 5, we'd have 14 over 5. And then you got to do a whole bunch of math with a fraction. So in this case, you would want to distribute. That'll give you 15x plus 10 equals 14. And then you can solve it from there. You see what I mean? Yeah? Okay. How are you guys feeling with solving what we've got so far? Because there's 2 things we have next. There's 2 things we have left for solving. And I'll just give you an example. I'm not going to ask you to do these yet. I'm just trying to gauge. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out, Daniela, if we need to practice some of these and the other ones we did, or if we're ready to move on to stuff like or I want to know if you guys are ready to tackle these or if you need more practice with those. So, stay and move on. Hands up, stay. Whoa. Hands up, move on. Oh, wow. Fantastic. Okay. What, Marlene? You know what's funny, Marlene? Jokes. Yeah. Huh. That's weird. This just went blank.
What?
I don't know. It's possessed. It doesn't want to work on a Tuesday either, I guess. Okay. Well, let's do this right here. Let's do the. Where did it go? No,
What?
nothing. It's right here.
Oh.
I lost it. Gabby, I lost it. It was hidden. Gabby, let's talk about this one first. So this one's tricky, and this is different than anything we've done so far. Jackie, why is this one different than all the others?
Because it has two X's.
Yeah, and they're on different sides of the equal sign. Do you see? So here's what you should do to make it easy. So we have to get the x's together first. So get x together first. That's what you want to do first. You don't want to start moving like the 2 and the 4 around. Don't even worry about that. Don't worry about the 5 and the 3. Get the x's together first. And then try to solve it. And then you have to make a decision though. Like Oscar, you can either move this 3 over here by subtracting 3x, right? Or you can move this 5 over there by subtracting 5x. Move the small one. It's going to make your life easy. So 3 is smaller than 5. Yeah, so we're going to want to get rid of the 3. So to make this 0, to make that 0, what we're really going to do is we are going to subtract 3x from both sides. Now, Oscar, do you like doing math with like 47 steps? Fewer's better, right? As long as it's enough to see what's going on. So I would suggest not even figuring this out yet. Because here's what we know, Yolanda. We know that this is going to be 0, and we know we're going to have a 2x over here. We can see that 5 minus 3 is 2x. So we know this is going to be a 2x, right? And you see this 4? We don't want it over there. Because the x is on this side of the equal sign. It's over here on the right. So we want the x by itself, so we have to get rid of the 4. So what I'm going to do, at the same time, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And negative 2 plus 4 is 2. So I think x is 1, because 2 times 1 would be 2. And you could divide if you wanted, but... Gabby, you see what I'm talking about? No? Oh. Which part? Don't say all of it. Yes, I know. I'm a mind reader, Gabby. You know what you're thinking about now? Pizza. Okay, Gabby. Gabby, which part gave you trouble? This 2 here? Well, okay, so first of all, I moved this 3. I got rid of 3, right? And so then I know that I'm going to have 2x over here, which means I don't want this 4 over here. I want the 4 to be on the other side, so I added 4 to both sides. So that made 0, and negative 2 plus 4 is 2. That's where I got the 2. That makes sense? Okay.
I thought, like, when you have 3x and you want to move it, I thought you had to divide it.
That would get rid of the 3, but not the 3x. We want to get rid of the whole entire thing. Because if we had 3x and then blah 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 equals blah blah blah, right? Sorry, can you see it now? Like the little things in the way. So if we had 3x and a bunch of stuff and it equals some other thing, and we want to get rid of the 3, we would divide by 3, and that would make just 1x. And then a bunch of stuff else, right? But we want the whole entire x to be gone, the whole term. So that's why we subtracted 3x. Does that make sense? Okay. Here's what I think we're going to do, Daniela. I think we're going to save this for Thursday. And we're going to do a couple of these for homework. I'm going to make them up. I'm going to put them on the board for you right now. I think we should try one, talk about it, and then give you a few to try for homework. What, Daniela? Daniela, I'm very mad at you. You didn't bring the cookies because your brother is very honest, and he told me you were bringing cookies for everybody, Daniela. You're calling your brother a liar? Oh my gosh, Daniela, that hurts my feelings, and I don't even have feelings. So let's try this. Let's try 8x minus 1 equals 4x plus 3. Let's try that. 8x minus 1 equals 4x plus 3. Oscar, did you get? Evelyn, don't be casting shade, Evelyn. Other people can be good too. Just because Oscar got the right answer doesn't mean you have to be hating, Evelyn. Did you get one? Yeah, good.
So when you say there's 2 answers to this one, there's just one?
For this one, there's only one answer.
Oh, okay.
The square root things sometimes have 2 answers. Yeah. Well, Kaba, does it make you upset that your sister called you a liar? Does that hurt your feelings? And you're her little brother. She's supposed to be taking care of you, right? I mean, even though like you guys are both adults, young adults and stuff, but that still doesn't mean you don't expect your older sister to be nice and kind.
She's never missed.
Never?
No.
Did you get it? So did you do this?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it in 2. I'm going to write it out instead of doing it at once because I think that might be confusing some people. Like that?
Well, I kind of skipped it and did the plus.
Oh, you did it all at once? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So you got this though. Yeah. Yeah. I decided to write it out because I think some people got confused when I did this step and this step at the same time. Yeah. So you're good? You feel confident?
A couple tries, yeah.
That's okay. A couple tries is what it takes.
Right.
I mean, like sometimes, man, it's weird, Yolanda. We shouldn't feel this way, but we all do. When we are confused, we feel dumb. And sometimes we should, because some things we shouldn't be confused by, like where are my glasses when I'm wearing them. Okay, if I feel dumb, then that's fine. But when you're confused by something you're learning, that just means you're learning. It doesn't mean you're dumb. So yeah, just gotta keep trying. All right, Jackie. So, Daniela, in your book, the problems from number 25 to 32 are all like this. And that's on page 122. So what I would suggest is you try those. It's only a handful of problems. They shouldn't take very long. And if we have that rock solid, if we got that good, then we can do the last kind. Now the last kind, they look really ugly, but if we can do these, we can handle those. So that's what I would say. Let's do for Thursday, okay? Marlene got one too, right? Okay, good. All right, guys. Any questions for me then? No? All right. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day.